Hi guys, my name is Seb Tudor, I'm the man on the Silver Mountain, and welcome back. Today I wanted to talk about, I know it's still the other day, I'm still wearing the grey Monty Python shirt with the rabbit on the front, but hey. But today I wanted to talk about, um, in contrast to the last topic video I did, which was on what I believe makes a strong person, or at least some of the main core traits of a strong person. I wanted to talk today about the complete opposite and the power of vulnerability. Um, and it's a thing that, again, it's a hard tightrope to walk because there's a difference between being weak and letting yourself crumble under pressure or not being able to own up to things or whatever else, as I mentioned in the last video, and being, showing that you're vulnerable. And when I say the power of vulnerability, I'm going to give you a quick example here, and that is entirely comic based, and it's Superman. Because lots of people can't relate to Superman because he's literally unstoppable, literally invulnerable, and he's, as a result, can be really hard to identify with. But the comics, which are usually presented as some of the best Superman comics, best written, best presented, and so on and so forth, are the ones that show him as vulnerable or weak or having to take a step back. One of these happens to be my favourite, and that was the death of Superman. Um, big big um, big run that I read when I was, I want to say 8. I might have been older, but not by much. But no, showing vulnerability. Granted, please don't die. You know, doing the death of Superman was him showing vulnerability wasn't the fact that he was dead. Just want to throw that out there. I'm not saying that people should die. Don't do that. That's bad for your health generally. Just don't do it. But the power of vulnerability in and of itself is that everyone has their weaknesses. And I'm not talking about weaknesses as in opposition to strength necessarily. I'm talking about everyone has their little things that they don't like about themselves, about the way that they interact with the world around them. I'm personally a very fussy eater. And it's, if you see those things in other people, then you're more inclined to be able to relate to them. So those people who stand out as being completely untouchable, completely without weakness, completely devoid of concern with the world, to one degree or another, they tend to live quite a lonely existence, and like it can be very hard. And for example, one client that I had come to me, um, very attractive young lady, and she didn't have much nice to say about herself. This was a fair while ago. This was actually before I went off coaching by myself. Um, she's an old work colleague that got back in touch with me, and she was really miserable. She was suffering in a lot of ways. Um, like she was on numerous drugs for depression. She was just not having, thank you phone, she's not having a good time. And the problem with, I'll try and stop pausing for quite so long whilst I'm trying to form this sentence, honest. Um, but the problem with it was that she was very attractive. She was very good at her job. She had a fair amount of money, and that had led though to, because she was working so hard to get the money and to make herself comfortable, she wasn't connecting with people. Um, because she was so very attractive, even when she went out with what few friends she had managed to retain, she wasn't able to connect with those people as much, and she wasn't getting asked out by people because they were intimidated by her. And this is something that I've come across so many times in um, relationship coaching and confidence coaching and things like that. And she couldn't, like, I was looking across the table at her, and she was a particularly as conventionally beautiful young woman who had everything going for her. To her, she was literally a source of kind of an alienating presence that she felt was coming off from her, and she was, and as a result, she was in turn suffering from the same alienation. And yet, the thing was, the vulnerability that she was showing me when she was talking to me about this, and she was in tears in front of me at times, discussing this with me, that was something that she never showed anyone else. She never showed anyone that she was lonely, because it would affect her work, it would affect the way, she didn't think that people um, would want to be around her if she showed any of it. But then one of the things that she did was that she actually, those I think she said 3 or 4 friends that she had managed to retain and that she saw on a, not regular, but on a reasonable basis, um, she interacted with those people in a way that she hadn't done before, whereby she invited them over to her place, sat down, and just talked. And she talked about all of the things that were bothering her. And considering these people were her friends that had actually stuck around, they proved themselves to be quite good friends, because the next time I saw her, she actually seemed to, well, she was very, very happy comparatively. Mostly because now she felt that she had the support of her friends in what she was doing. And, unfortunately, I believe she moved out to Germany shortly afterwards for a short period. But after that, she didn't come back to me for any further sessions and things. But what it came down to was that just showing a little bit of the vulnerability. And I'm not saying flying off the handle. Thank you again, phone. You done? Okay. I'm not saying flying off the handle every time someone slightly upsets you. I'm saying that if you've got something that's bothering you, there's no point in hiding it, because people will see that it's bothering you. But if you don't tell them, if you tell them that you're okay all the time, then they're only going to take that you're okay all the time and that you're just being a bit shit. And so, relax. Talk to people. People are mind readers. If you say fine, then they'll believe you. But saying no, actually I'm not, and then just telling them a little bit, just to get it off your chest, just so that they know how you're feeling, it helps both them and you in the long run. And it's not always the easiest thing to do, but it's something to try and keep track of. I realise I'm not great at this. When I was working, I didn't regularly get sick, and I would go with, I've always had issues sleeping, and so I would go with for 2 or 3. Thank you again, phone. I'd go for a couple of days with no sleep, and I wouldn't get sick, and I'd always turn up to work, and I'd just run it off. and I might get a bit pissed off now and again, but you know, the guys at work would take the piss out of me, and my opinion of it was, as long as they got through the day, it didn't matter what you called me. And yeah, that was the way it all worked out, and it worked out pretty well. So but when I was in trouble, you know, when I wanted to be at work rather than anywhere else because shit was going on outside of work, I could count on the people that I was dealing with there who had seen the spectrum of me. You know, they were willing to help out. They were there to have a talk to about it whilst I was stocking shelves or doing paperwork or whatever else. No, it worked out. I always felt better for it. And they never ended up sticking their foot in their mouth because they wanted to talk to me about the thing that was pissing me off or whatever. So I guess along with, you know, power of vulnerability, let yourself relax a little bit and let yourself show some of that vulnerability, because everyone on the planet realizes deep down that other people are just as like soft and mushy on the inside as they are, and so there's no harm in showing that. You know, everyone's essentially made of the same stuff, just in slightly different ways. But I guess the second thing to take away is, you know, actually be straightforward, be upfront about it, actually say what's on your mind, in your head. You know, a little bit of tact, a little bit of a filter can be helpful, but at the same time, don't let that filter stop you from like demonstrating and promoting actual discomfort. I'm not talking about someone called you a nasty name. I'm talking about if inside you feel like you're about to throw up because you've made yourself so tense, and or something has gotten to you to the extent that you're having issue, speak up. If someone called you a mean name, grow up. But anyway, what do you guys think about the what I'm saying here? I mean, have you ever had to literally pull yourself back and turn around at someone and say, actually, no, I'm not okay? And if you did, then how did that turn out? I'd love to know. Please tell me down in the comment section below. If this video was interesting or you think it could help you or a friend, then please subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys.